thank you for joining us in this executive interview with Gordon Brooks, who's the CEO of Zixi. Welcome, Gordon. How are you?
I'm doing great, Eric. How are you?
Doing great. I don't have the Emmy in my backdrop that you have, but I'm doing well nonetheless.
It's usually in the office, but since we're not in the office, I figure I might as well bring it home.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we just want to jump right in and start talking about Zixi. For
Sure.
people who might not know Zixi, you've been around for more than a decade, but tell us what Zixi does and what Zixi is.
Yeah, so Zixi, we're a software company, and we have a software-defined video platform that takes typically what a dozen software and hardware products would do to be able to manage and transport live and live linear video, broadcast quality, and point to point, but really anywhere to anywhere, and point to multi-point. And we've been in the business 13 years, and a lot of people think probably 10 years too early. But we were, started out with a protocol, so we understand the transport area very, very well. And really in the last 3 or 4 years, we've built up the platform. So not only do we have the Zixi protocol, but we have 16 other protocols. So we support 17 protocols: WebRTC, RTP, RIST main profile, SRT, just NDI, pretty much anything. Then we have a video solution stack, which does all things like hitless failover and bonding and slating and auto recording across all the protocols. And then we have Zen Master, which is a control plane that really abstracts the complexity away of managing these large IP networks, because you have thousands of streams, it can get pretty complicated. So we abstract that away so operators can operate it and you can control your entire environment. And then we have the Zixi enabled network, which is all of our partners and our customers. So we have over 200 integrated partners.
Wow.
So today we're, in about 100 countries. We have about 700 customers, and there's about 100,000 instances of Zixi all over the world.
Wow. You talked about the protocols that Zixi supports, and there are many, many streaming protocols out there and many, many live streaming platforms out there. What is it about Zixi's software-defined video platform that sets it apart from the others on the market?
Yeah, I mean, we're actually very unique in terms of we're the only ones out there supporting every major protocol. So we still have the best. It's in the open internet, it's about 95% market, but we support them all and we'll continue to support them all. So whatever you're doing with us is future-proof. We were known for being able to, operate in the open internet, but we now run on any IP network,
right?
Including cellular, and we're in the middle of some big 5G tests and things like that. And it's the control plane. So it's all those components where you have the interoperable network so that you can, operate, with anybody out there. You're not restricted by what hardware's out there or what environment's out there across any IP network, across any protocol. So it's just a very unique way to do it. It makes it very easy for people to scale to large scale implementations of IP. And
okay,
again,
well,
we're about broadcast quality. So
sure,
if it's so-so or good enough, that's probably not us. We're all about high end.
Right.
Six nines.
Yeah, good. You talk about leveraging IP networks and how the broadcast industry is increasingly doing that. Obviously, that's in streaming's DNA. But as the broadcast industry moves more and more to leveraging different IP networks, why is it so necessary to have a software-defined live streaming infrastructure to make things work?
Yeah, I mean, it's if you have to have a bunch of different, if you need hardware for protocol switching, and you need this software to do something else, then you're kind of tying yourself to a physical plant, which with COVID and where everybody's going, people are trying to get more away from, to be more virtualized. So the idea that it's software defined, that we have full transcoding built into our software, all the telemetry from every edge point. So no matter where you are, where you want to put it on the edge, you put it on the edge. You want to put it in the cloud, you want to put it in the cloud. You want to put it in data center, you want to hook it to a camera, whatever you want to do, our software can go anywhere, and you just download it and go.
Right. You talked earlier about the fact that Zixi, streams both point to point, but also streams at scale. Streaming point to point, can be easy relatively. Once you get into live streaming at scale, things get really complicated. How does Zixi help users manage and maintain their live streams at large scale?
Yeah, that's Zen Master. So
Okay.
yeah, it's that democratization of that whole process, because you can't have a whole bunch of video engineers, which we don't have enough of,
Hmm.
and are very expensive, running everything. So how do you get operators to be able to operate that? So we've worked with the NBCs of the world, the Bloombergs of the world, the Amazons of the world, to help build out our control plane. So most of the major broadcasters out there have had big say in how you do that. And so we're built for scale in these large IP networks, which can be very, very complicated if you have to manage all edge devices individually with individual UIs and do things in the cloud with a different UI. And we're all in one control plane where you have access to a device on the edge, to an Apple, a Raspberry Pi, to how do I spin up instances in Google or Azure or AWS.
Sure, sure. How easy is it for customers to start live streaming using Zixi, and what do they need to do in order to get off the ground?
So, I mean, if you want to live stream to somebody who's already a Zixi customer,
Hmm.
you download a piece of software. It's free. It takes minutes to set it up, and off you go. So we do that a lot for the OTT providers who are pulling in content from Africa and Turkey and all places like that. If you want to set up a complex workflow, then we work with you to design to make sure you've got it architected right, you got the failovers operating right, and we're doing a very large rollout of universal integration, of content of 250 different channels into an OTT player. And that full implementation from let's sign a contract to go live is going to be about 30 days.
Okay, wow. That's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Let's close by talking about the future and sort of talking big picture. Where do you see live streaming is headed right now? And obviously COVID has impacted the trajectory of things. And how is Zixi, I guess, both keeping up with, but also, I'm guessing, enabling that future?
Yeah. So the move to virtualize is orders of magnitude faster.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had plans, so order of magnitude faster. Remote operations, remote production, which are things we enable with our software-defined platform. We're helping people, get home and stay home, right? And I think we did some surveys just a little while ago, and in the high 90s, everybody believes that the infrastructure they're putting in for remote work is going to stay permanent, and that it actually works better than people think. But then you also look at things like 5G. So I think 5G is going to have a huge impact in terms of workflows and how people operate. And for us, 5G is just another IP network, but it's complex, and we're knee deep in it right now. And we're going to have something that's very unique and very early in that market. So I think 5G is big. I think machine learning, so that you can get into things like blast radius and really more ML based alerting and predictive analytics, so that you're predicting problems before they happen, and if they do happen, what exactly is impacted and that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot we're doing there. We're already doing some of it with predicting encoder quality without seeing the source, using ML and things like that. So you'll see more and more of that going on.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for taking the time today. It's been great catching up. And if people want to learn more, they can obviously go to Zixi.com, right?
Absolutely. We've got a bunch of webinars coming up over the next 2 weeks. We got 5, so come join us if you like.
Terrific. And we've got our Streaming Media West Connect in October, and I believe Zixi will be joining us for one of those too. So people have lots of chances to learn more.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric.
All right. Thank you, Gordon.